Over the years, there's been a lot of characters that have been massively hated by the fan base for one reason or another. There have been the Sakuras. I still haven't forgiven her to this day. If you're a Harry Potter fan, there's Umbridge. Damn, I remember just not liking her at all. If you're a Star Wars fan, there's Jar Jar Binks. The whole Jar Jar Binks situation did get a bit out of hand, but yeah. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, it was obviously Joffrey. And my god, did I hate that dude. And as of recent years, there's a new character to put on that pyre, and her name is... The hate for Amber was something special. It was something interesting to witness. But what it basically comes down to is Amber is unreasonable in her decision making and her thought process.
Did you hear what I just said?
Ugh, I know you're a superhero.
You know? You know?
I'm not an idiot. I figured it out weeks ago.
Then why are we fighting?
We're fighting because you lied to me. You made me feel stupid and unimportant.
It's a secret identity.
This moment right here is the exact reason why people hate Amber. This moment is where everything fell apart for Amber as a character. Amber, up to this point, was a fairly standard character, but this moment broke her so badly that it is unredeemable by the fans because us, the audience, get to see Mark's story and get to see Mark's journey throughout the season. Mark is a superhero. Mark has been saving lives. Mark has been traveling all throughout the world, hell, even to space itself, trying to protect the world from multiple different threats. Whether that be small scale or big scale, he's there to try and help save the world. And my boy has been getting beating after beating after beating because of this. Being a superhero is a difficult task for Mark, especially because he's trying to live up to his father's example of what a superhero should be, flawed as that is. But also his inexperience gets the best of him. Unfortunately, Mark loses a lot. And we, the audience, get to see that. We get to see him not only slowly develop, but also we get to see him fail. Fail so much in trying to do the right thing. On top of all of that, Mark has been struggling to manage his time of being a regular teenager and being a superhero. And that has come at the cost of his relationship. And he's been trying so hard. He's trying so hard to make this work. And then finally, everything reaches a boiling point where he confesses to Amber that he's a superhero, and in no way, shape, or form is he trying to do this on purpose. In no way, shape, or form is he trying to do this out of ill intention or ill will. Amber's important to him. He cares about this girl. He genuinely does. And he put everything out there on the table, only for her to say one of the most brain-boggling statements that completely destroyed the motivation for this character and the writing for this character. Amber knew all along that Mark was a superhero. Or at least she knew long enough that it makes no sense whatsoever. To get a full grasp of the situation with Amber, Amber, all throughout season 1, has been complaining to Mark that his poor time management skills have been costing his relationship heavily. Not only has he been missing out on time with her, he's also been missing out on key moments that build a relationship, that build that foundation, right? And the relationship, unfortunately, is suffering from Mark being a superhero, from Mark keeping his identity. She's also feeling like he's hiding something. All of that is valid. All of it makes sense. This is also what makes it so hard. Because if you're watching episode 1 to 6, everything makes sense. Amber as a character makes complete sense. Amber's motivations are not only coherent but understandable because, yeah, Mark's kind of being a bad boyfriend. If you only seeing it from the perspective of he's prioritizing everything else outside of you, and sure, having other responsibilities is good, but if you're in a partnership, if you're in a relationship, I'm not saying they should be the main priority, but they should be a priority. Amber is so valid. She's completely okay for feeling this way, you know? This is someone you care about, and they're completely just ignoring you. They're completely just treating you as if you're an afterthought. That's gotta feel bad. I'm with Amber until episode 7. Kind of halfway episode 6. I'll get on that in a bit, but episode 7, where Amber confesses to Mark that she knew all along that he was a superhero, and all of a sudden, that one statement changes everything. So in episode 6, Amber was mad at Mark for leaving. This is what broke down the relationship. This was the final nail in the coffin for Mark's relationship falling apart. He left. From Amber's perspective, he just disappeared when she needed him most, which I can understand. You're in a life or death situation right now. Your partner leaves. What the hell? That's messed up. But now, this whole thing gets flipped on its head because now we know Amber knew all along. And this is why I say the writing falls apart. Because all this time Amber was valid for feeling this way. But now we know that she knew. This makes no sense. We now understand that Amber knows who Mark is. He's a superhero. He's invincible. So she knows that's him fighting the villain right now, protecting her. But she gets mad at him for leaving when she just saw him save her. This makes no sense. And it doesn't help that Amber is so full of herself that she believes her small problems and her small grievances matter more than the lives of other people, matter more than Mark saving other human beings. This is so dumb. I'm sorry about your soup kitchen, but Mark almost died, okay? And you knew, and you still hold the stuff against him. This is so stupid. Amber's character could have been saved if only they made one small change. If Mark confessed that he's a superhero, and Amber said something along the lines of, I don't care, it doesn't matter, it still doesn't negate how I feel. Sure, the situation might be a bit different, but it doesn't negate the fact that I still am not your biggest fan. It still doesn't negate the fact that I'm still feeling horrible about everything that you've put me through, right? That's still valid. But all of this relies on Amber not knowing who Mark is. Then everything makes sense. Her character progression makes total sense. But no, everything changed because of this one moment. And it is a complete character assassination, at best. Now, that would be all one thing, and that is a big reason as to why people hate Amber and just completely cannot stand her as a character. What also makes it worse is that everyone is validating Amber. Everyone is validating her feelings and validating her perspective, but completely ignoring Mark's perspective and Mark's feelings on the situation. And that, I feel, is one thing that makes this so much worse. Amber is not only told to us by the writers through other characters that she's in the right and her feelings are valid and this and the third, completely ignoring the elephant in the room and completely ignoring Mark's feelings. It's so infuriating because everyone in that show is telling us that Amber is in the right and we, the audience, know she is not. We know for a fact that she is completely unreasonable in the way that she's treating Mark, a person that is doing everything in his power to make her happy. I think what makes matters worse is when people try to defend this. Actual people try to defend this. None that I speak to, because everyone that I know hates this character. And when you see actual human beings online, especially, try to defend Amber, it is the most asinine thing imaginable. Because their arguments generally tend to be, oh, Mark didn't care about her feelings, A, B, C, and D. Bro, I would have agreed with you if Amber did not know that Mark was a superhero. But Amber understands the situation. Mark is saving lives. Your feelings do not trump the lives of other people. I am sorry. I don't care. That argument only works if Amber didn't know Mark was a superhero, but she does. She does. It completely destroys the argument. And the fact that the writers can't even hold Amber accountable for her own actions is what annoys a lot of the audience and what makes them hate her even more.
Mark!
Whoa. Does this mean,
I mean, if you want.
but what about...
Looks like I wasn't the only person being lied to.
This moment right here is what sealed the nail in the coffin for why Amber, not only a toxic person, but a horrible character, and I just don't want to see her anymore. Every time I see her on screen, I get such a visceral reaction. I'm frothing at the mouth of how angry I am that this person's on my screen. Oh my God. When she came back to Mark, the rage, I'm telling you, the rage. I remember that moment so vividly, the absolute rage. But, I digress. This moment sealed the nail in the coffin for Amber. Mark just faced one of the most traumatizing moments of his life. Mark just found out that the hero he looked up to, the person he aspired to be, the individual that he put not only on a pedestal but idolized, his father, is not only a psychopathic murderer who has been shown to not care about the earth, but his own family as well. That is so heartbreaking. Mark suffered a beating from his father that pushed him not only physically but emotionally to his limits, and it was so heartbreaking to watch this moment. Oh my god. He had a train ran on him. A train! Oh, it's funny. It's funny, but it hurts. Mark is suffering right now. He's in a moment of complete weakness. He is vulnerable. His whole world just came upside down. He doesn't know what to do. He's so just out of it. And what does Amber do? As soon as she sees him, kisses him, and pretends that everything that she put him through before this never happened. It's all okay now. As I said, the final nail in the coffin. Mark is at his lowest point, and what does Amber do? She decides at this moment, I'm going to take an opportunity to not only manipulate his feelings, but just get in on this whole situation because I feel bad for him. Like, oh my god, what were they thinking? Honest to God, what were they thinking when they wrote this character this way? Amber was perfectly reasonable. Her line of reasoning was perfect for almost 6 episodes. What were they thinking? Not to mention, I'm just going to put it out there. She almost cheated on Mark, okay? If you needed more nails in the coffin, this is one. I'm just saying, she was flirting with a whole other dude while being in a relationship with Mark. And now you can make the argument, oh, she was in a fight with him and she was practically going to break up with him. I don't care. She was still in a relationship and she was flirting with another dude. And the only reason she didn't pursue that dude is because he had a girlfriend. Like, are you serious right now? If you needed more nails, here they are. All this to say, Amber is one of the most hated characters in fiction right now because she is unreasonable, psychopathic, and just completely abysmal in terms of her writing. I don't know what they were thinking, but this was not it, Chief. They try to get political with her as well, which, oh my god, never goes well, but whatever. And all of this is the reason that people hate Amber. But let me know in the comments why you think she sucks. Or hell, maybe you like her. Maybe you're one of the few people that think she's actually in the right. Please tell me why you think this. I'm so curious. Like, please, maybe there's an aspect that I'm missing. Maybe I'm too narrow-minded in my thinking, but I do not like this character at all. Tell me why you agree and tell me why you disagree. I seriously want to know. And if you did enjoy the video, please leave a like. I would really appreciate that. And if you didn't like the video, thank you for listening this long. Seriously, you're a champ. I still appreciate you. Thank you. And I just have to say thank you for listening. Thank you for spending some time in your day to hear the ramblings of a madman yelling at the clouds. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a beautiful day ahead and an even better week. God bless. Bye-bye now.